Hi, welcome to Parent Alienation is Child Abuse, unfiltered. Thank you all for being here today and welcome to the new subscribers. I thank you all and appreciate every single one of you. Thank you for joining me. Well, today's discussion is going to be, today I'm angry. Today I am angry. Today I heard from somebody who hasn't seen their child in over 10 years. This person hasn't had access, hasn't had visitations, has had nothing. And only reasonably recent, they've started opening the communication lines through text messages. Well, now this child's, there's a perfect example of what it's like to live with a narcissistic, abusive father. This child was asking this mother questions about how come she's not in the picture, about the relationship breakdown. The mother didn't really elaborate. The mother merely said that once she got a little older, they could have that conversation together. But at the moment she felt she was a little young to take it all in, and just reassured her that she would tell her once she got older. Anyway, this child went and showed the father the message. What was the father's response, you may wonder? Did he comfort his child and maybe explain the situation? No. What this father did was jump on the phone, proceed to scream abuse at the mother, then also threatened to come down and shoot her in the head. So when this little child's, well, not so little anymore, would have been sitting there listening to all of this. And without her mother having to explain any situation about the relationship breakdown, I think this child just got all the answers herself. Because once that child was left alone with that father when he got off the phone, then the abuse would have been continuing. He would have been screaming, carrying on, probably went and beat the shit out of his animals to get rid of the aggression out of himself, because that was a habit he used to do. Leopards don't change their spots. So, the father that says he cares for his daughter, his child that he loves, as soon as she started asking questions, the child received the true colours of what her father was like, and maybe an insight to why the mother's not around. Now this mother's had to go and speak to police, because this person is a loose cannon. This person is unpredictable. This person has a history of violence. And all the trauma and abuse that she'd suffered at his hands when they were together all came flooding back. Because that's what they do. When they scar you for life. So it doesn't matter how long you've been away. Over 10 years. No contact. Minimum contact. Which was reasonably civil. Until the child started asking questions. And then the flick switched. And the true fella came out. Showed his daughter exactly why the mother's not there. Now, the concerns for this child that's left there. Who protects these kids? Who's looking out for these children? No one. These kids are stuck in this position, and this isn't the only child I know that is in this position. That's been left with an abusive father because they've swindled and bullshitted their way through court, and that's been through a one-sided story. And the mother became too scared to pursue it. He thought he can play his same games again. I got something to say for you, mate. And that is what gives you the fucking right to come back and scream abuse at somebody that left you for exactly who you were and exactly who you still are, obviously. Fucking put your daughter through that trauma, that you've just put another scar on that kid. But you feel proud of yourself too, don't you? Thing is, people aren't scared of you anymore. People aren't scared of you. You're just a nothing. You have to resort to hurting children and women to think you're a man. Fuck off. This isn't an isolated story. This happens a lot, where these women and men are in abusive relationships too, but this one's a bit new. So now the victim parent's fearful of her life, fearful of her daughter's safety, fearful of the communication that they had's now been broken, because this child will be scared to talk to her again now. This child will be closely monitored on who she's talking to now, because Lord forbid the truth comes out. That was what the flip out was about, eh? Losing control, having to be accountable for what you've done. My videos talk about this. The time comes where the children will ask questions. And why this child feels trapped and still is trapped where she is, because no one's looking out for these kids. No one. No one's looking out for them. They're stuck there, having to listen to all the bullshit that's now spewing out of this guy's mouth once again. Probably experiencing this stuff herself if she's crossed the line, because leopards don't change their spots. This is what works for them, fear and manipulation. And if you're not strong enough to deal with that, then they got their hook right in you. And if you're a child, then you've got no chance at all. You're stuck until you get older. But as I said, without the mother even having to say anything, this guy's just showed his true colours to his child. So, mate, you've just answered your daughter's questions. Let's see where the future goes now. She'll start piecing things together. She'll be quiet. She has to. She's got to survive there. But there'll be a time. She's getting older. She's getting older. She's a smart kid. She's a smart kid. And she's loved by a lot of people on her extended side of the family that has been robbed of watching her grow because of a spiteful person. This person thought he could come back and try to push his fear and intimidation around again. Ain't going to work this time, bucko. You can just fuck right off. But I thank you. I also thank you. But I also have to thank you, because what you've done is answered your daughter's question without anybody having to tell her. But the thing is, she probably already knew. But by your actions, you've just confirmed it for her. So, any kid watching this that's in this position, do what you got to do to survive, sweetie. You're stronger than you think you are, and you're braver than you know. Living through this is hard, it's challenging. You've done it for a while now. You know what you've got to do to get through it all. But just know that there's people on the other side that you haven't got to see that love you more than you realise. And what you've been told about them isn't true. Remember one thing, there's always two sides to a story. And if you're only being told one side and being denied the other side, then it's really hard to make a true judgment. But as you get older, you start figuring things out. And eventually you can break free. And then you can choose whether you still want to be involved in these people's lives. Because you get a choice when you're older. You don't have to be part of that family if they've hurt you enough. I did it. I turned my back. You don't have to have them there if they're only poison to you. So stay strong. There's a lot of prayers out there for you guys. All of them. All of the kids out there that are suffering this. But this child's had her eyes open in the worst possible way. This child will be feeling an enormous amount of guilt because of her father's outburst and loss of control. But there's also a chance that this child's seen this behaviour many times before when this person doesn't get what they want. And the trauma that's just been inflicted on this child is inexcusable. But he would have done this in front of the child, I believe, because it's another way of controlling her. To see him make a threat while screaming and yelling at her mother down the phone. I can't imagine what was going through that little girl's head. Probably shock. Because I'm pretty sure she wouldn't have expected the outburst she received. She was merely asking questions. And she's entitled to that. She's entitled for answers. But for this narcissistic person, the harsh realities just come slapped him in the face that he's starting to lose control of this one. She's wanting answers. But he doesn't want the truth to come out. So if you huff and you puff, carry on like what always gets you what you want, then surely it'll work again, won't it? But things change. Your attitude might not change. But other people around change. Become stronger. More have their eyes open to exactly who you are. And you've done that yourself to your own child. So this young girl, I believe, will be laying low for a while, because one of the things that happens in this situation, and as I've stated before, this isn't an isolated case, that these children often become parents to their parent, making sure they're okay, making sure they're settled down, making sure that they believe that, oh no, I don't want to go and see my other family. I don't want to see my mum or my dad. No, I don't. Make sure they say all the right things so that this person believes they're back in control of this person again. But while it's like that on the surface, I can guarantee you it's not like that inside their minds. Because inside their minds, they're probably wondering what the hell they just witnessed, just by simply asking a question. This is the harsh reality of parent alienation when domestic violence is involved and the courts get it wrong. This is the repercussions of even being away for many, 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 many years with no contact. The simple fact the child's asked questions is enough to ignite an enormous rage in this person, because he knows his world's about to crumble around him. Why he thinks at the moment he's still in control, I can tell you, mate, you're fucking not. Your kid's waking up to exactly who you are and exactly what you've done to her and what you've done to her mother. So, as I've stated in all my videos, once the kids work it out, these people end up old and alone. Because in their mind, they think they've lost all this time for nothing from a spiteful person. And this child's proof of that. This child is proof of the reaction of a narcissistic father that's about to lose control of the one thing he could control for many years, his daughter's relationship with her mother. Yeah, mate. So I look forward to seeing you crumble. And so looking forward to seeing this child break free from you, because then she'll have half a chance at a normal life, not one full of fear, hostility, control, manipulation, or threats. We know how you play the game. These are all in the same area with that when it comes to parent alienation and domestic violence. There's many people on my channel that's experienced both of this. You know exactly what I'm talking about. But there comes a time where you turn around and you wake up and you're not that scared person anymore. You're not the person that they had control over all those years ago. You've grown, you're stronger, and you don't put up with bullshit anymore. So, today I'm angry. And that's why I'm angry. For a low-life piece of shit to cause a chain reaction the way he has, simply because his daughter asked him a question and she wants answers. And Lord forbid this piece of shit, because that's what he is, follows through with the threats he made. My heart breaks for that child, because although it's not her fault in any way, it's not her fault. And any kid that's out there that's experiencing this, and I know there's a lot on here that watch my channel. I know that there's not little kids because it's not kid friendly, but I know there's teenagers and young adults that watch this, that are in this very position, that it's not your fault. You're in no way to blame at all. The blame lays 100% in the narcissistic side of the field. And they've hid the parent from you all this time because they weren't willing to believe you could love anybody else or want to love anybody else other than them. And when you've been lied to for so many years and you start asking questions and you want to start putting things together, this is where their true colours come. They'll come out exactly like this one did. So, without anybody having to say anything or do anything, I believe this child's had her question answered really loudly. And this child needs to understand, and any other child that's going through this, that you're very much loved by the family that don't get to see you. Because you don't get to see them and they don't get to see you doesn't mean that they don't think about you, because as a grandparent myself, I know I think about my alienated grandchildren quite often. They're a part of you. You don't forget their existence just because their narcissistic parent decides that they want you to. And the children don't forget you're there, and they don't lose the memories of the love and nurturing and care and the fun times you used to have, just because they think you shouldn't remember. Kids remember everything. And the older they get, they start putting two and two together and start figuring things out themselves. So, I believe they say good always comes out of bad. And why this situation that's happened is explosive, terrifying, and heartbreaking. I believe it's a the start of something good. Maybe not right now, but I believe the wheels are in motion for change to come. As I've stated, the mother didn't have to say anything. Mother was still protecting the father, protecting the child to what her father was like. But now the child's found that out herself. Anyway, I'm going to leave this one here today, guys. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to be angry when it's necessary. And when there's narcissistic pieces of shit out there that think they have the right to come back and step into people's lives after so many years have passed and there's been no contact. But they feel obliged and entitled to scream whatever they want to somebody and feel there's no repercussions for that. Mate, there's always repercussions. You just don't always get to see them. But they're coming. Karma's a bitch. Anyway, guys, I'll leave that there today. Stay happy. Be angry if you have to, but make sure you end the day on a happy note. Don't carry that anger with you, because then they still kind of win, don't they? They still have that control over you. Get like that when you're angry and frustrated. Write it down on a piece of paper. Get it out of your system. Do something. Put some music on and dance yourself sweaty and hot and bothered and get it out of you. Go for a walk. Do some skipping, jumping, something. Get it out of your system. Don't let it eat you up, because they're still winning. They've still got that control over you, even though it's a long time ago and thought that part of life was gone. But unfortunately, when kids are involved, one way or another, you're tied to that person. But I believe good's coming. This is just the start of the wheels in motion for this young girl and for any other child experiencing this. You're not alone. You're not alone. And again, I'll say, as much as they probably try to tell you you're not wanted or loved by the other side of the family, I'm here to tell you that you are 100% loved, thought of, and constantly in everybody's mind on the other side of the family. Don't believe just a one-sided story, because there's always two sides to a story. Even if they're not good sides, both sides still need to be told. And again, I ask, who's protecting these children? That has to be questioned. The answer's simple. Nobody. Nobody's checking these children. These children are stuck there. Nobody checks in to see if they're okay, how they're going. Courts give these people, these children, knowing they've got a bad history. They say it's in the best interest of the child. How can they base something in the best interest of the child when it's a one-sided story and people like this piece of shit get to have a child? That this child's probably grown up in fear most of its life, knows not to push dad's buttons. Don't get him angry. And he promised the court, yeah, I promise I won't hurt her, promise. But who checks? Nobody. Nobody checks these kids. These kids are left alone with these people. As I've said, this isn't an isolated case. This isn't an isolated story. This particular child is one of probably hundreds and thousands around the world that's stuck in this very position. That's been placed in that position by the courts that had the best interest of the child at heart. when they've based their decision based on a one-sided story because the lawyers don't do their jobs. ICLs don't do their jobs. Too busy bringing in the money, looking at the next case, instead of focusing on the one that's in front of them, that they're about to make or break the child they're placing with the parent based on one-sided story. I hope these kids grow up and decide to sue some of these people that have let them down. Because when it's pretty black and white in your face on some of the parents out there's traits, and you got to scratch your head how they think this is in the best interest of the child. And even many years down the track, the child decide to ask questions. And look what it got her. How's that in the best interest of the child? Explain to me. Somebody explain that to me. Why are the lawyers allowed to destroy children's lives and not be held accountable for that? Because I've known a few myself that are in the same position because of a one-sided story and lawyers not doing their job but still collecting the money. Yeah, that's what it's about, eh? Get that money in there. Don't worry about the kids' lives. You're never going to see them again. You can go home and sleep in your cosy bed, but you'd have to worry about that kid going home to that parent. Yeah. System's broken. It's failing the children out there it's meant to protect. Perfect classic case. So how's that in the best interest of the child? But no one looks in to see if the child's even okay. Just take their word for it. Even regardless of the history. Take the word. Yeah. The court needs to shake up. Lawyers need to shake up. Family law is just a big business. That's what it is. And parent alienation is an epidemic. And as I've stated in all my videos, the biggest victims out of it all are the children. The children that the courts have got the best interest of the child for. Sometimes the courts make mistakes, but who follows that up? Nobody. Anyway, guys, I'll leave that there today. Something else to ponder about if looking at starting a relationship with somebody. Just know, take it slow, take it steady. Don't have a child with somebody you don't know, because the relationship might end, but the torment won't. Especially if it's to a narcissist. But good things are coming. Wheels are in motion for change. Everything happens for a reason. And the time must be right for the wheels to be put in this motion now. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in the near future or in the future. Things won't happen straight away. But it's got more to think about now. So have other kids out there. Hopefully so, a lot of adults. Anyway, guys, I'll catch you guys on my next one. Thanks again for being here. If you haven't already liked and subscribed, I'd welcome you to do so. Join this little community. Let's keep raising awareness. Let's help change kids' lives. Let's help try to fix a broken system that's got the best interests of the child at heart and seem to be continuously failing in that field. Time for change. Time for an overhaul. Anyway, see you guys.